Hey guys, I'm going to be talking about pectus carinatum and my experience with pectus carinatum. I'm basically going to be talking about everything that I know about pectus carinatum and go through my life history with it and just share all of my stories that have to do with it and my experience wearing a pectus carinatum brace for a couple of years and during high school, and how difficult that was, the impact it left on me physically, mentally, if it was worth it, where I am now because of that. Um, and I mean, this needs to be said because a lot of people out there I know are in the same situation I was in, which is that they feel very insecure and confused about what's happening with their body. And I know I would have liked to see another personality, another person talking about their experiences with pectus carinatum online at the time when I had it, or at the time when it was first becoming a big deal for me. So it became a big deal for me right around puberty, which I think is, I know that's common, because right when you go through puberty, most people around 13, 14. I was a bit of a late bloomer, so for me it was around 15, 16. Once you're going through puberty, your sternum, uh, your bones expand, and then you'll have that extra cartilage start to expand, and then it'll form into pectus carinatum, which I had it when I was younger too. A friend when I was like really young, 9 or something, at the pool. I remember he pointed it out. He said, "Looks like you have boobs," something like that. He said it looked like I have like man boobs kind of thing, and I wasn't like fat. I have like a skinny body type, but which actually is really common in people with pectus carinatum, because, well, if you're not like on the ectomorph skinny side of things, then your bones are not even going to show. Uh, you're not going to be able to see your bones through all that layers of fat and or muscle and everything, if you're a thicker set kind of person. So that's one common trait amongst people with pectus carinatum in that community. I mean, I know a lot of you watching this that are struggling with this. You probably are, yeah, on the skinnier side of things, and that's why it's even apparent why your bones stick out in the first place. So being skinny and having pectus carinatum don't complement each other. Ideally, if you're looking for how to improve your appearance and how to cover up, which I'll go a lot more into later with working out with the brace, there are surgery options. I never had the surgery. I'll talk about more about that later. I don't know much about it, to be honest. But one of the options is definitely to gain weight and body build, which I'm actually going to be putting out a video course about that, because I definitely think that will help people. But anyway, going back to, yeah, I knew I had pectus carinatum when I was younger. It's actually, my mom has it too. So 1 in 4 people, or people that have pectus carinatum, there is 25% of those people have somebody in their immediate family with pectus carinatum also. So that was the case for me. It was my mom. It was passed down from. And so, yeah, I had this bump in my chest, very minimal at that age, very, very minimal, but I was skinny then even, so it was still apparent. Anyway, this friend pointed it out to me this one time. That was my one experience even noticing that maybe there is something different about my chest at this age. But of course, when you're that young, you don't realize that you're different. If you're different, that's just what you accept as reality. That's just what you accept as normal, until someone points out that it's not normal. But yeah, so I knew I had this thing, kind of. It had been given a name. I knew it was pectus carinatum, and I'd kind of forgotten about it until I was 15 or so, and birth, my my what am I trying to say? My growth spurt happened. I went through puberty at this late age, and I just remember like laying in bed shirtless, like sleeping, like just sleeping, and just looking down, or like feeling my chest and starting to notice that like my chest was kind of like bumpy, just starting to like realize that sometimes, and starting to grow concerned about it because I felt like it was unattractive already at that point. I began to think that it was unattractive, or I was just weirded out by my own body. I was just confused and a little concerned. Um, oh, I think I had another experience when I was when I was in elementary school, of somebody like bumping into my chest, feeling my chest, and like um, kind of being like why is your chest so hard, kind of thing. These kind of experiences, small in themselves, but they add up to start making you think like, oh, like what if something's wrong with me, or how do other people interpret this? Even though it's only like a couple people giving criticisms, it can affect you if you let it. Which I hope all of you don't let criticism affect you negatively like it did to me. Or you learn quickly how to deal with criticism and to accept yourself. Um, so yeah, there was that one experience, and then there's also another experience where my soccer coach felt my he like gave me a pat on the chest or something, like a fatherly pat, and he patted my chest, and or he patted kind of almost like my stomach, and he was like, "Wow, your abs are so hard." Like he thought he thought he touched my abs, and he thought I was just really ripped. So, you know, depending on your pectus carinatum, how minimal it is, what it looks like, it might actually look like muscles. Because I've had other people also comment on, they just think I have like really big pecs or something because of it, and they'll say like how muscular, like, wow, your pecs are so muscular. And I'm thinking, you know, maybe I do have muscular pecs, but it's also bones, the bones that you're seeing. But yeah, so yeah, there's these experiences that will lead you to start to like feel uh, insecure about it, especially if you like don't have your shirt off around people a lot. Like I just never really was swimming much. Not because I was avoiding it, but I just wasn't, and so I didn't have exposure to people seeing me with my shirt off. So it was almost like a mystery to like how people might perceive me with my shirt off, and that began to feel like, you know, in that mystery, I fill in the blanks and think like, if people did see me, they would judge it. They would be disgusted, or think it's ugly or weird or just confused. All this negative stuff, right? So anyway, so I'm laying in my bed, I'm noticing my chest is like bumpy, not even like really thinking about it consciously, just kind of noticing it's bumpy. So you're getting like worried about it, become self-conscious, thinking about like the past and how people have like noticed my chest in the past, but now it's even growing like at a crazy rate while I'm going through this puberty moment. And I begin like feeling my chest all the time, just like just insecure about it, just like touching it. monitoring it. I remember even like pushing down on my ribs, pushing down on the bumpy parts of my ribs, trying to like thinking that would like push it back into a normal place, which, you know, it shows how badly I wanted to change it, how uncomfortable I was with my body. And it also is really dumb because obviously you can't push in your bones. So if you're doing that, don't waste your time. I think it's also a common feeling. I saw another YouTube video about a guy with pectus carinatum, and it was kind of funny. He like got a hammer and was like, I'm gonna finally deal with this pectus carinatum stuff. And he like acted like he was gonna like smash it with a hammer, which I can remember having exactly those kind of thoughts, which were never like, you know, like I'm actually gonna do that because it doesn't actually make sense. But I think it's a common feeling, like it's rising up. You want to just push it back down or break it down. You want to fix it yourself. I mean, these people, I see the comments of these YouTube channels posting about pectus carinatum. I mean, these kids, all these people going through this, they want to change it so bad, and they won't do anything to change it. I mean, wearing these braces, I'll get more into this later, but wearing those braces can be so painful. I mean, it was for me such a trying experience. Literally compressing my body, trying to change the anatomical structure of your bones, and, you know, even like rubbing away. I'll get more into my personal story of it later, but I mean, I wore the brace like a lot tighter than the doctors even recommended because I just was so, you know, wanting to change it so bad. And it would rub away at the skin and leave like blisters and just not blood, but it was just very painful on the skin as well. So it shows the lengths that people are willing to go through. And I thought I was unique in that way a little bit, but seeing this community, seeing how the other people are in the YouTube comments, and all these people willing to wear braces and go through surgeries for this, I mean, it's a cosmetic thing. It's like doctors will say like it's just cosmetic, it's just looks, like it's fine, like, you know, it's not that big of a deal. They'll try and minimize it. I mean, it comes from a good place. It's not particularly helpful though, because it is a big deal going through this. It can affect how you relate to people. It can affect just relationships and everything if you let it, if you're insecure about it. Certainly wearing the brace, it can isolate you from other people because you try and avoid it, and you're so ashamed of wearing a brace and trying to hide something. Like, there's this culture of hiding your brace and hiding the whole thing. And I mean, you want to hide, like, some people naturally want to hide their pectus carinatum just because it stands out and they think it looks bad. So there's this whole culture of shame around it. And it can separate you from other people and cause, you know, negative mental stuff. I want to say depression and anxiety and stuff. Not to mention wearing the brace can cause a lot of anxiety. I mean, you're compressing your breathing centers, which, if you don't know, when you're anxious, or when you're anxious, you take deeper breaths, you know, the whole like you take deep breaths to like get in a lot more oxygen when you're scared. And or in order to relax, if you're in a relaxed state and you want to relax, your breaths are going to be more deep, and you want to get that nice sigh to relax or something, because it brings more oxygen into your blood and it just slows down your heart rate and everything.
What we do here is go back.